why formerly or previously married women, at the point at which they separate or divorce from their husband, they seem to accelerate their lives. They go back to school, they start a business, they lose the weight, they just, it's like they've been given a new lease at life. And it's because they are now in a place and in a space where they do not have to seek permission from anybody. They do not have to seek permission from their husbands. They just do what they need to do. They're in a position to fully exercise their sovereignty. Okay? And that actually, the before versus the after, when they were married versus after when they are single, you can clearly see the moves that they are making, the level up that they are doing in their lives. Because they are exercising their sovereignty. They don't have to seek permission. They don't have to slow themselves down. They don't have to pamper somebody's ego to make the man feel, less intimidated. They don't have to pamper the man's ego to make him feel like he's a leader. She exercises her own leadership in her life rather than wait for somebody else, rather than outsourcing her sovereignty and the leadership to somebody else who, when you really think about it, is actually slowing them down. Patriarchy conditions women to seek permission first, to check the temperature first, essentially outsource their sovereignty to look towards outside factors, particularly the men in their lives, in this case their husbands, their fathers, before they do anything. Whereas for men, they are, even when they're married, especially when they're married, they exercise their sovereignty to the fullest. That it allows men to apologize after. And a lot of the times that apology does not even come, in the sense that a man will do what they need to do, look out for their own interests, and if an apology is necessary, they will give it later rather than seek permission first. Speaks to the element of women being taught, to be submissive, to follow rather than to lead. Whereas for men, they just do what they need to do, when they need to do it, how they need to do it. If an apology is necessary later, they will do it, but they will not seek permission. There's this one particular time I was with friends, and one of my friends, she mentioned that she has had to slow down her investing because it has brought a lot of conflict in her home. And by conflict in her home, it's conflict with her husband, because she has to check in with her husband before she invested. And a lot of the times the husband will be like, no, let me think about it. Are you sure? Basically putting in a lot of doubts. However, for the husband, he will just go do what he needed to do and then inform her as by the way, I've done this. By the way, he has done the other. But for her, she had to check first. I remember something she said, that sometimes to keep the peace at home, she's had to minimize herself. She's had to slow down a bit. She's had to put certain things in the back burner. But you can clearly see the difference with the husband. The husband did what he needed to do, then gave an apology later, and really it wasn't an apology. He was just passing information that he's done 1, 2, 3 things. And then for her, she was seeking permission first. This brings in a very interesting dynamic, obviously, for women who are single, in the sense that they don't have to check. They do not have to seek permission, because they are not partnered. So whatever they need to do, whether it's to invest, whether it is to go study, whether it is whatever it is they need to do, they just do it. They don't need to seek permission, and they also don't need to apologize.